training is definitely making myself better, but I know that it's going to end up making my teammates better.
You have to know your teammate and know what they need.
The cohesion on the field and off the field is what makes everyone strong.
Being on a team, you know it's not just you out there.
I would do anything for the player next to me, behind me, in front of me.
Practicing day in and day out, trying to be the best me so they can be the best them. It's like a sisterhood that you have with those girls.
It's just really empowering. They're all doing crazy things. And you want to be like them, and you want to push yourself like them.
Motivates me to work harder, to get faster, quicker.
Pushing each other so hard, all for the same goal. And then when you accomplish it, that's the best feeling in the world.
Once you tap into that, I think you're unstoppable.
It begins with the ball. You see, a ball is not just leather and rubber. A ball is the seed that communities grow around. We're talking split-second moments that become indelible memories. It creates lifelong friendships. It's a reason for people to celebrate. A ball isn't just a ball. It's a life lesson. It's a tool you use to pursue your best. It's how you earn your greatest victories. How you learn to deal with failure. It's a test that you pass. It's a dream that you catch. It's a future you hold in your hands. It's not just a ball. Biden, the official ball of you.
Well, we welcome you back to the Walt Price Fitness Center on the campus of Everett Community College in Everett, Washington. NWAC women's basketball is on the air. The third of our 4 quarterfinal matchups for this day, where we get to the Final Four. Mike Tatko along with Wes Tucker. We've been with you here all weekend, and half of our Final Four bracket is set. And frankly, no surprise. We have a team from the East, we have a team from the South. That's kind of the way it's been. A couple of good battles earlier today, and it was Umpqua just defeating Grace Harbor. They had to pull away at the end to defeat the Chokers. Earlier today, Big Bend ran past Centralia. This time, Wes Tucker, our third West team in the Elite Eight, trying to get to the Final Four. It's Lower Columbia against the perennial power from the South, the Lane Titans.
and Lane an absolute clinic put on all throughout the season. They did, however, just narrowly beat out. Oh, pardon, not narrowly. It looks like a 6 on my scorecard. But anyway, they did beat out Skagit Valley to get to this point. Their shooters warmed up as the game progresses. Most case is for these teams. And they got a chance to face a well-rounded LCC team that not only plays the paint well, but also has some great mid and long-range game.
Lane with that 81-73 win over Walla Walla. Lower Columbia has pulled away from Skagit Valley for the victory last night by a score of 68-52. Both teams were tested, but both teams came out on top. And now it's up to the first-year coach of the Lower Columbia Red Devils, Lucas Myers, to go against a veteran man in Greg Sheely from Lane in his 19th year. It's the second game in a row that Coach Myers from Lower Columbia will be facing a legend. Last night he went up against Steve Epperson, who has been coaching for 40-plus years.
And it looked like he belonged up there in that legend category. The way he coached this LCC team has done a fantastic job. He's got the respect of his team. He's got the team clicking as a unit. We'll see how he does against Coach Sheely. 5 championships for this Lane team as well through NWAC play.
And Coach Sheely received and accomplished, didn't receive it, he accomplished his 900th win earlier this year. Kenya Lorton is one of the starters for Lower Columbia, along with Shasta Lofgren. Also for the Red Devils, Jerry Maluyu, Emily Packham, and Nishoni Wheeler will start for Coach Myers. For the Lane Titans, Kalina Rojas, Kylie Gilsdorf, Megan Briggs, Megan Still, and Megan Fossen. It's the Megan show for Coach Sheely, 3 of them. And Lower Columbia as the top seed out of the West, and Lane as the second seed out of the South. Lower Columbia designated the home team because of their higher seed. Lane will be the guests on the scoreboard. They'll be wearing their blue uniforms, and Lower Columbia in the white. Should be a good one. We still have Wenatchee Valley and Peninsula to come later on this evening as we complete our bracket, and the Final Four will begin Saturday at 1 o'clock with Big Bend and Umpqua, and then the winner of this game against the winner of Wenatchee Valley Peninsula at 3 o'clock, to be followed by men's Final Four action, North Idaho and Lane at 5, and Spokane and Walla Walla at 7. And so, with a win here, the Lane Titans could advance in both the men and the women's bracket.
And on the other side of the matter, LCC, the last team in the West, still in contention for a Final Four spot.
They are 21-9. Lane is 27-3, and we are underway as the Titans will be on defense first, as Lower Columbia from left to right in the white uniforms trimmed in red. Lane in the blue with the white numbers. Titans open in a man-to-man defense. Packham. They go inside to Wheeler, who backs in and rolls it home. Nishani Wheeler with the win. The teams met earlier this year. Back at the other end, the Titans miss Fossen, and Wheeler with the rebound and a foul on Lane. They met earlier this year. It was a victory for Lower Columbia over Lane in an early season game. And right off the bat, Greg Sheely is going to get a substitute in, and Emma Jones, who had a big night last night against Walla Walla, will replace Megan Briggs, as the foul was on Briggs. It was her first. Red Devils on defense. Wheeler, short 8-foot jumper. That one would not roll home. And the rebound comes down to the Titans underneath. Fossen against Wheeler, goes up, got fouled by Nishani. That's her first team foul. 1 team foul aside. And 2 free throws coming up for Megan Fossen. And the first one is good.
You know, brief look down at my bracket shows we have the potential for 1 team from each division making it to the Final Fours. Peninsula, the lone representative of the North, to play later.
We could have a North, South, East, West. What would that entail would be Lower Columbia winning here and Peninsula winning later on the night. Here's Wheeler from the left corner. Baseline jumper, not good. We are tied at 2 as Fossen was able to make both of the free throws at the other end. Lane looking for their first lead, and Jones can't give it to him. And driving and putting it up that time was Maluyo. And it didn't go. Back the other way. 3 on the way for the Titans, no good. And the Red Devils have the rebound. Just underway from Everett. And a 2-2 tie. Lofgren thought about a deep 3 that time and then pulled the basketball out underneath, and a turnaround jump shot from inside is up and good. And that's Emily Packham for her first 2, and the Red Devils have the 4-2 lead. Titans on the offense, nice spin move and then kicking it back out. 3 on the way, good by Fossen. So Fossen, a good night inside last night and a good night outside so far tonight with a 3-pointer and a couple of free throws, and the Titans lead 5-4. Right side it works to Kenya Lorton, and now Lofgren on the other side. Packham stepping through and going to not able to do anything. And a blocking foul going to be called on the Titans, Emma Jones. Let's see if there was a shot or was she passing. They say she was going to pass, and so Jones picks up the foul, her second team foul. First substitute into the game for the Red Devils is Madeline Jacobson. And on the inbounds play, a beautiful play.
Right out of the gate, Jacobson making noise.
6-5 and a whistle. And it looks like a foul on Lower Columbia. That's going to be on Lorton, her first second team. So 2 fouls aside. We've played almost 3 minutes at 6-5 Red Devils. Lane with the win last night, 81-73. And Lower Columbia with the 68-52 win, and a backdoor pass and laying it up and in is Emma Jones for her first 2, and the Titans have the lead back, 7-6. Back and forth we go. Lofgren. Maluyo. And they drive and laying it up and in. That time was Lorton. 8-7. Into the corner it goes. And they find Fossen for 3, and she knocked it down again. 8 points already for Megan Fossen. And it's 10-8. We've only played 3.5 minutes, and we're on a pace for lots of points in this one so far. 3 off the iron that time by Lofgren, knocked out of bounds by Maluyo, and it goes back to the Titans. Coming in for Lane for the first time, or not for the first time, but back into the game, is Kalina Rojas. And also, Maya India Thomas. So Coach Shealy getting a few people in early and rotating him in and out. India Thomas going to jump it up from 12, rolled out, no good, but the offensive rebound and the putback was missed that time by Megan Still, but Megan able to get it, and they're going to call an offensive foul on Megan Still. So Still picks up her first. That's already the 3rd team foul on the Titans, and it goes back to Lower Columbia. 4 minutes in, our 3rd quarterfinal, Lane and Lower Columbia. Three rims out that time by Maluyo. Oh, that was Packham, excuse me. Other side, it's a 3-pointer up and good by India Thomas. And a timeout on the court. It's 13-8. The Lane Titans have the early lead. We'll step away from Everett.
We see you. Be your curious self at Clark College.
WWCC is affordable. Find your way. Attend part-time. Direct transfer. Join the fun at WWCC.
Three three-point baskets by the Lane Titans, and they have the early 5-point lead. Nishoni Wheeler, instead of muscling it up, is going to pass it out. The three was good by Packham, but before the three could get off, it's a 3-second violation. And so a turnover back to the Titans, looking for their 28th win. This is their 31st game of the year. Rojas drives, has it blocked by Wheeler, but Fossen gets it. She needs to get out of the key, and she does. Gelsdorf with the pass that's knocked out of bounds, intended for Still, and back the other way we go. Midway through the first period, Lane 13, Lower Columbia 8. Trapping defense employed by the Red Devils. Three on the way, good. Thomas, India Thomas with two. They have 4 3-point baskets, and just like that, the Titans lead 16-8. Packham, now Lofgren, now back to Packham. She hit one a moment ago, but it was after a violation. This time she commits the violation herself, a travel. Maybe some jitters for the Red Devils against this traditional power Lane Titans.
May very well be jitters, and may also very well be outmatching. Though that Titans are just hitting their threes, they're playing up well, and Lower Columbia just needs to capitalize.
Fossen gonna fire a three. That rimmed out, no good, and now the Red Devils have an opportunity to potentially get a little bit closer here. 16-8. We've played 5.5 minutes. Lofgren to Wheeler. Wheeler gonna fire a three, right wing, off the iron, no good, and the rebound, India Thomas, and they crash into her, does Lorton, and that's her second. Can't afford to lose Kenya Lorton to fouls. And let's see what Lucas Myers does early on. She's committed 2 in the first 5 minutes, and they're gonna have to take her out. And they're gonna put in Madison Mosier, and Lorton will sit down. And very disappointed is Lorton, slowly walking on the baseline. And she'll make her way around, as we'll have to see how long Lucas Myers goes without her. 16-8 Titans as we approach the 4-minute mark, first period. Maya, India Thomas across. That's Gilsdorf. Gilsdorf is loose. Tried to do a post-to-post pass. It's loose, and forcing it up and getting fouled is Rojas. So she'll have a pair. And we check the foul. Is that on Wheeler? And that's her second. So some immediate foul trouble for Lower Columbia here, already down 8. And Rojas will shoot a pair for the Titans from Eugene, Oregon. The first one's on the way, good. 17-8. And now for Lower Columbia, Madeline Jacobson comes back.
Two key guns already in foul trouble for Lower Columbia. Wheeler, good up in the paint, and Lorton, a good all-around offensive weapon for Lower Columbia, and both in some trouble.
Rojas hit them both, and it's 18-8 Lane. Driving to the hoop and laying it up that time was Maluyo, and it's no good, and the rebound comes down to the Titans. Gilsdorf to Fossen, working it around this Lower Columbia zone. Now Rojas, nice move inside, put it up, rolled off, no good. Greg Sheely wanted contact and a foul, didn't get it, and now the other way, it's Lofgren putting up off the glass, no good, and the rebound comes down to the Titans. Back the other way, long pass and laying it up, and in is Jones. And it's 20-8, and quite a difference from the first time these teams met when Lower Columbia was the team that came out on top in the basketball game. That was 78-71 back on December 1st. And the errant pass out of bounds. 2:51 to play in the first period, and sitting down will be Gilsdorf. And it's Megan Briggs coming back. The winner gets another week of practice, and we'll be back Saturday. The loser will be done for the year. Emma Jones to Still. Back to Jones, post-to-post pass. That off the hands of Lanes. Briggs out of bounds, back to Lower Columbia. The Red Devils are 4 of 9 from the field. The problem is that they're not getting a lot of shots off because they're turning the ball over on occasion. Packham, and now Lofgren. Mosier driving baseline, knocked out of bounds by Fossen. It'll stay with Lower Columbia. Shot clock at 10, 2:14 to play in the first period. Lane by 12, and a substitute will come in. That's going to be Gilsdorf. So Coach Shealy is rotating them in and out rather quickly to try to keep everybody fresh. He's already used 3 substitutes. Into the corner, Lofgren now, they work it deep. It's loose and it's taken away from Jacobson by the Titans. Running it up is Gilsdorf. 3 on the way, Fossen. That one missed. Second time she's missed in a row. Saved back in to Maluyo. Maluyo running it up to Lofgren. Muscles it up, blocked from behind by the Titans. And a timeout called by Greg Shealy. 30-second break, 1:52 to go. Lane by 12. Well, a minute 52 to go. A quick timeout by Greg Shealy, and now back to the action is the ball knocked out of bounds. Interesting timeout. You have a 12-point lead, a lot of momentum. He must have wanted to run a set play or maybe seen something, or maybe just a quick break to get a little bit of reinforcements and a little bit of rest as the Titans with a big lead already. And stepping through that time was Rojas. Back to Gilsdorf. And now Still the turnaround jumper. It's Briggs. It's good. Megan Briggs. It's 22-8 Titans. 1:20 to play in the first period. Wenatchee Valley and Peninsula next. And a pushing foul going to be called on Still, I think, and that's going to be her second. So one of the Titans with 2 fouls. 2 of the Red Devils with 2 fouls. And so having to sit down will be Megan Still. And Briggs is into the game still. Also into the game is Rojas. Gilsdorf. India Thomas returns. And Fossen is there as well. 22-8. And Kata is in for Lower Columbia. Turnaround jumper, no good, and Kata went over the back. And that's going to be a foul on the Red Devils. So, Melaniti Kata with the foul. And that's the 5th. And so shooting will be Megan Briggs, a pair here for the Titans as we approach the 1 minute mark. The first one is up and good. They are already 5 of 5 from the free throw line. This is exactly the start that Lane wanted and exactly opposite of the start that Lower Columbia wanted. Second free throw up and good.
Well, you recall it was a slow start for Lower Columbia, their last matchup too, so we'll see if they can get hot as the game progresses, but it looks like they're a little far out of reach now.
Well, like you said, Skagit Valley really had a good plan, slowed things down, had Lower Columbia on the ropes early as the shot by Packham is no good, and a held ball, and the possession arrow will go to Lane. Lower Columbia got its footing and eventually got even with Skagit Valley and pulled away and won by 16. But it's a different opponent tonight. Can't really put it any way different than that. 24-8 is our score, final minute of the first period. And Jones, that one not good, but Fossen right there for the rebound, got fouled, and that one's going to be on Kata, and if that is, that's her second. Or is it on Wheeler? It's Kata. And so Fossen will go to the free throw line for the Lane Titans, who are already 6 of 6 in this period. I must have jinxed her because that one rolled out. Coming back is Jacobson. Lucas Myers is having a discussion with one of the officials. He didn't agree with that call. Second free throw on the way is good by Fossen. She already has 9, and it's 25-8. The Titans are a quarter of the way to the century mark in this one, and Lower Columbia stuck on 9. As they work it around, 9-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Lofgren driving, turnaround jumper from the right baseline, off, no good, but the rebound by Jacobson is good. Jacobson has 4, and it's 25-10. India Thomas, final 15 seconds for the Lane Titans. Jones open, no, instead it's Fossen from the left wing. Rims out, no good. Rebound going to be a foul on Lane. I think they're going to get Rojas, and that will be a shooting foul because that's the 5th. So both teams, Wes Tucker, have hit the limit here in the first period.
Boy, and that's truly shocking. Both these teams playing fantastically clean games in the Sweet 16. And I'd like to point out again, there are 3 Red Devils with 2 fouls apiece here in the first quarter.
And now they're going to send the teams to the benches to see if there was something that happened on that rebound that would necessitate a video review. And so I'm not sure exactly what they saw. We're going to try to pull it up here and see if we can find something else as well.
And reminder, today's game brought to you by Tulalip Resort and Casino, proud sponsor of the NWAC Basketball Championships Halftime Shooting Contest. Earn points and rewards everywhere. Discover the power of one. See TulalipResortCasino.com for more information.
Well, I'm trying to look to see what happened.
By Centralia College, go boldly. By Jimmy Johns. NWAC Men's and Women's Basketball Championships like to thank Jimmy Johns for their continued support of the Best Seat in the House promotion. Each game of contestants chosen to sit on the couch during the game and receive a Jimmy Johns sandwich. Jimmy Johns, freaky fast, freaky good. And by the Wounded Warrior Project, more than 48,000 service members have been physically wounded during the military conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan. An estimated 400,000 are living with the invisible wounds of war, including PTSD, major depression, and traumatic brain injury. The NWAC is honored to back the Wounded Warrior Project. And by Baden, the official ball of the Northwestern Athletic Conference.
Well, I looked at it multiple times, and what happened on the rebound was Rojas and Lofgren right here. Rojas and Lofgren kind of get tangled up. Didn't really see anything flagrant there. At the end, Lofgren punched at the ball. She certainly didn't punch at the opponent. She kind of took a swipe looking to tap the ball. It could have looked like she swung. The only other thing I could think of is they thought maybe Rojas kind of pulled her down, but I just don't see anything. I see aggressive college basketball, and I don't think it should be anything. But I'm up here.
Very true, and it looks like they're going to agree with you for the time being, Mike.
Oh, they are. Yes, just a foul on Rojas. And so it will be 2 free throws coming up for Shasta Lofgren. Great job on the reads, Wes. Got a lot of sponsors in there.
Oh, thank you.
And the free throw is not good. First free throw attempted by Lower Columbia here with just 9 seconds to play in the period. It's 25-10 Lane.
You know, we actually had a winner on that Tulalip Resort Casino clear the court contest.
Well, you know, and it was Centralia's basketball coach,
Very
Caleb
true.
Sells. Second free throw up by Lofgren. It's good. Last chance for Lane. Final 5 seconds driving. They kick it off and putting it up too hard. That time was Rojas, and that's going to be the end of the first period. Good first period for the Lane Titans. They are looking to get to the Final 4, and they lead 25-11.
Training is definitely making myself better, but I know that it's going to end up making my teammates better.
You have to know your teammate and know what they need.
The cohesion on the field and off the field is what makes everyone strong.
Being on a team, you know it's not just you out there.
I would do anything for the player next to me, behind me, in front of me.
Practicing day in and day out, trying to be the best me so they can be the best them. It's like a sisterhood that you have with those girls.
It's just really empowering. They're all doing crazy things. And you want to be like them and you want to push yourself like them.
Motivates me to work harder, to get faster, quicker.
Pushing each other so hard, all for the same goal. And then when you accomplish it, that's the best feeling in the world.
Once you tap into that, I think you're unstoppable.
Four Final Four trips in a row for Lane over a period of the last several years. They've missed the last 2, though. They missed it in 17, and they missed it last year, so they're trying to get back there where they feel they belong. And nice roll on the finger roll there by Maluyo, but it's a little bit too hard, and it comes back to the Titans. From right to left as we watch it up here, high above the court at the Walt Price Fitness Center in Everett, Washington, Everett Community College, home of the Trojans. And ceiling is Emma Jones, and she puts it up and in. Jones has 6, and it's 27-11. With the lead belonging to the Titans. And Lofgren couldn't get that one to go, but the rebound, it's loose. It's still loose, and coming out of it and getting hit is Gilsdorf in what appears to be the right eye. And I'm not sure if she's wearing contacts, but she's looking over at the bench. And she may have to come out of the game. They're going to send people to their benches for this one, too. And we'll see if we can see anything here. It was a scramble.
Oh, yeah, it looks like right in the eyeball.
But I just can't see intent. And that's what they look for on that. I mean, there's no doubt there's a whistle, but I just don't see. But, again,
I mean, I doubt she went in with the intent to try to gouge an eye or something. But, again, that hurts regardless.
Yeah, it does hurt. And Lofgren is going to be charged with the foul. It's the first team. The other thing to keep in mind is whether or not Gilsdorf has contact lenses and whether everything's okay there or what, as the officials will look.
This game brought to you by the TPA Grants. The NWAC Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament was made possible through the support of the Tourism Promotion Area Fund of Snohomish County, Washington. Thank you, TPA Committee, for your continued support of the NWAC Championships in Everett. And again by the Tulalip Resort Casino, proud sponsor of NWAC Basketball Championships Halftime Shooting Contest. Earn points, rewards everywhere. Discover the power of one. Visit TulalipresortandCasino.com for more information. And fans, get your NWAC apparel while it is hot. Supplies are limited. Get it here at the tournament or online at nwacstore.com/NWAC.
I think what's interesting is that you have two officials who look at it, and then one of them leaves, and they go get the third one. It's kind of like going to the doctor for the second opinion, I guess, as we get another look at it here. Again, there's no question there's contact. There's no question there's a battle for the basketball. That's why we're all here. But I just don't know that you can legislate intent on something like that. I mean, it's 27-11. And 9 minutes left in the second quarter. Who's going to go in and try to cheap shot somebody? I just don't see it. I think it's a very aggressive play by Shasta Lofgren, and I think good for Shasta. And I hope that Kylie Gilsdorf is okay because she's a great player too, but I just don't see where that can be flagrant.
Well, again, Gilsdorf's still down there in the huddle on the court for Lane, so it looks like she's all right. As we just await the conversation to finish up with the officials.
And the other thing, it takes too long.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
It interrupts the flow. You're starting to hear it from the crowd. And let's see what they decide to do. It's a foul on 5, and that's it.
So a long conversation that got them to the same conclusion they made before the review.
And we could have told them that how many minutes ago, Wes?
Oh, my goodness. Well, you know, nobody likes to listen to us telecast the radio, guys.
How many people do you think have this on mute and they're just watching?
Oh, I know.
Well, back to the action. As coming down is Maya India Thomas for the Lane Titans, who lead in the game 27-11, first minute of the second period. And there is Gilsdorf herself, and she gets fouled on the way up. And so she will go back to the line. That foul is going to be on Packham. Lane has done a really good job of going to the rim, going to the glass, and getting fouls. And Gilsdorf will have a pair. The first one is not good. She'll have one more. That one is also short, but the rebound taken down by Rojas, and they'll have another possession. Jones drives past the defender and lays it in. 8 for Emma Jones. Emma Jones last night off the bench had 21 for Coach Greg Shealy. She's on her way. She has 8 now. 18-point edge. Deep 3. Good. That one by Maluyo. And it's 29-14. A little life for the Red Devils here. Early in the second period. Long way to go. As Sealing is Rojas, and her shot is blocked out of bounds, and they will retain possession. I don't think either coach is particularly thrilled with the officiating so far tonight. Even up 15, Coach Shealy was looking for a foul there. Briggs returns for Lane. Wheeler returns for Lower Columbia. And they'll bring it in underneath the basket. It'll be Gilsdorf to trigger it in. Into the key, jumping it up and in. Good inbounds play, and Rojas gets her first field goal. She has 4 points. It's 31-14.
Continuing to widen the margin here is Lane. 17 points in their favor.
Driving and kicking is Lofgren, who gets it back, and she's going to fire a deep 3. Good. Shasta Lofgren, she has 4 in the game. And a couple of threes on successive possessions by the Red Devils to make it 31-17. Back for Lane is Emma Jones. India Thomas gets a break. They'll inbound it underneath with Gilsdorf. Last time they got a real easy look for Rojas. They try the same look with Jones, but good defense that time by the Red Devils. Back door, Rojas, I think, was intimidated by Wheeler, didn't go up with it. But a steal and a lay-in by Emma Jones.
Boy, Jones not at all intimidated by Wheeler.
No, she just anticipated the pass. She intercepted it and knocked it down. 33-17, Titans. Lofgren, another one from this time the right wing, no good. Chasing it down is Packham in the deep corner. Behind the back dribble by Emily, and Lofgren going to take it in and kick it to Wheeler, but it's intercepted. Titans running it up the left side, too far, and back to Lower Columbia it goes. Wenatchee Valley making its way into the arena. They'll play the 7 o'clock game tonight against Peninsula. Peninsula, the only remaining team in the north.
Number 1 seed out of the north, too.
And Wenatchee Valley will try to join Big Bend from the east as in the Final Four. Big Bend and Umpqua have already advanced. Lofgren for Lower Columbia, cross court. Lorton is back in with those 2 fouls. Reverse layup, no good. She'll have to be careful, but they need her offense, I think, Wes, and that's why they have her back in the game as we're at the 6:30 mark.
I mean, you got to play it to win regardless of the situation you're in right now if you're Lower Columbia.
Stepping through and traveling that time is Lane, and so it goes back to the Red Devils.
Because if you get down by 20-plus points, it's a rough climb regardless of how many fouls each player's got.
Sitting down is Rojas. Briggs returns. Maluyo will bring it across for Lower Columbia. Jacobson. Now they go to Nishoni, and now Jacobson going to drive and kick it, and actually Lorton was out of bounds, and had she come back in, I think it would have been a violation anyway. And so back the other way go the Titans. 5:59 to go here in the half. Turnaround jumper, good. Tough shot by Briggs over the taller Wheeler. And the Titans lead 35-17. Steal at midcourt, that's going to be Jones. All by herself, lays it up and in. Timeout. Lower Columbia, it's all Lane. 37-17, back to Everett after this.
I'm strong.
I won't give up.
I put my heart into the game.
I learned from my mistakes.
Focus.
Determination.
Confidence.
I trust my gut. No limits.
Preparation.
Dedication.
Leadership.
I want to make my team and family proud.
And be an inspiration for other girls who like sports.
Join the movement.
When I first graduated high school, all I wanted to do was go to a 4-year because, like, if you went to a community college, it was, like you said, not very competitive. But now being at a community college for 2 years, that makes you grow up as a player.
Well, 37-17 Lane, not the most banner days for the Western region, unfortunately. Centralia went down big. Grays Harbor hung around for a while, but went down by double digits, and Centralia down 20. Somebody trying to break the streak of not getting to the Final Four. It's been since 2003 when Tacoma made it. And another steal for Lane. They want to run. And there's Jones, left corner, off short, and it's going to head out of bounds. No, Jones saves it into her teammate. Great job. And jumping it up is Megan Briggs. 8 points. And it's 39-17.
Boy, all Lane, and we're just about to the halftime break here, under 5 minutes to play. And Lower Columbia just looking outmatched to this point.
Deep three, that one nearly got caught. Saving it back in, but she saved it in just to the Red Devils. That was Gilsdorf, and so back the other way. And Wheeler seals and does a nice job, but can't get it to go, but the putback is good. Nashoni Wheeler has 4. And it's back to a 20-point game, 4:25 to go here in this half. We'll have some guests from Wenatchee Valley and Peninsula, we would think, coming up to talk to us prior to their game. Fossen from the left wing, in and out, no good, but another rebound. And this time it's going to be Gilsdorf who tries it, and she knocks it home. Gilsdorf gives the Titans a 42-19 lead. Still 4 minutes to play. They had 25 in the first period, and they have 17 here. Wheeler, that ball hung up there forever, wouldn't go. And good job by Maluyo to run it down. And Lofgren, top of the circle, that's no good. And the rebound comes down to Jones. Titans want to run. Greg Shealy does a good job of running his kids in and out. They run and they shoot. Fossen with another 3. And it's 45-19. Red Devils on offense. Lorton. Packham, nice head fake. She's going to jump it up from the left wing, off the iron. And that's the problem, Wes, is when you have a good open look like that, you got to knock him down if you want to get back into the game. Traveling violation on Gilsdorf.
And that's just regardless of any situation you're in playing basketball. If you're up by 20, down by 20, if you get the opportunity for points like that, you have to capitalize on them. And especially those easy jumpers.
And so some changes coming in. Melanita Cotta is back for Lower Columbia. Jacobson is in there. They're at the post. Packham is at one of the wings. Lofgren is out front, and so is Lorton. That's the 5 on the court for the Red Devils. And it's Packham jumping it up, and there she knocked it down. 4 for Packham, and it's 45-21. And a steal and a foul on Jones. Emma Jones knocked her over after the steal. That is just the first foul on the Titans here in the period. It's been a very cleanly played period. Only 2 fouls on Lower Columbia. 2:38 remain. As a couple of the Peninsula Pirates are going to head our way. As we get set for half. Cotta is pushed from behind by Briggs. Second on Megan Briggs, second on the Titans.
And Lane, at the end of the first quarter, had a 25-point margin in their column at 20 here. So you said quarter way to the century mark, and we could be looking at a possible 100-point game they keep on this pace.
Lane has put up some points all year long. They have a lot of impressive scores in the tally. Lofgren to the basket, but can't get it to go. She went through some defenders, but the shot didn't fall, and it's back the other way to the Titans.
Matter of fact, they did have a 102-68 win over the Clark College Penguins about midway through the year.
I've seen a lot of the Lane scores, and there have been some very high scores for the Titans.
How about 110-42 against Portland? Wow.
That foul is going to be on Lorton. So she played for quite a while before picking up the 3rd foul. She finally does, and she'll have to sit down. And now Mosier is back in. And Rojas and India Thomas for the Titans. Deep 3, no good, and running it down will be Lower Columbia. Final 2 minutes of our half as we get ready to welcome our guests in. Mosier to the basket, can't get it to go. Yanking it down is Fossen, and she is fouled from behind. And Lucas Myers wanted a jump ball, didn't get it. It's not going to be a shooting foul, but the foul is called on Jacobson. 1:42 to play. 45-21 Lane. Megan Still into the basketball game now, calling for the basketball. Backing in and jumping it up is Gilsdorf. Left-handed shot wouldn't go, and it goes back to the Red Devils. And Lofgren going to draw the foul. Shasta 1 for 2 so far from the line, has 4 points. The foul is called on Gilsdorf. Free throw by Lofgren is good. 45-22 now. And the next one is up and good again. Lofgren is 3 for 4. She has 6. 22-point edge for the Lane Titans. It was 14 after one quarter, 25-11. It's now 45-23 already. 2 Titans in double figures. Jones and Fossen. India Thomas fires a 3. That's not good. The rebound is loose, and I think they're going to get maybe a lane foul, and maybe that's on Amanda Toby. And it is. That's her first. So we were just saying a moment ago they didn't have any fouls, and now they have 4.
Boy, right out of the gate like that again. It's whenever we say something is when something the opposite happens.
We say they're great from the free throw line, they miss. We say they don't have any fouls, they foul. We'll welcome in some people from one of our games, the next game, as Lofgren lays it up and in again. And it's 45-25. Our friends from Wenatchee Valley. I know Riley Denton. I'm from Lewiston. She's from Clarkston. Yeah, Riley and I know each other. Also joined by Ashley Peralta. Nice of you girls to come by. I want to first talk about your win last night in the basketball game, a win over Clackamas 71-46. We'll start with you, Riley. Great defense, I felt, was really the key to the night's win. I think Clackamas was, I don't think they made any three-pointers, and that's kind of how they roll. And because I think most of the shots were contested, that's probably why a lot of it you had some success.
Yeah, our team mainly focuses on defense. Literally every single practice we always have. And Coach is a really big believer in defensive and all that stuff. And basically our team came together and decided we were going to be number 1, and we've stuck with it the whole entire way. So.
You're one step closer after last night. And Ashley, I want to talk about your run through the East region, a tough region it is, but you got some really key wins to get to where you are in the second seed. That probably has prepared you for what you're facing this weekend.
The East region coach from day one has been telling us that the East region is one of the harder regions to play in, and from the get-go it was push every day, hard at practice, because in the games it's going to be hard. Everyone's going to bring their best game for you, and we believe that solely since the first day.
Riley, let's talk about tonight's opponent, the Peninsula Pirates. That was a low-scoring defensive struggle. They held Highline to 9 points at halftime, and so with their defense and your defense, what's going to be the key to breaking out and being able to score some points against them?
Basically just transition offense, and, I mean, we're going to do everything we can, bring it all that we got, and that's basically our game, running.
Ashley, what's been your favorite part of the weekend here?
Really, the atmosphere is so much more different than high school ball. It's amazing, and like season-wise, like just the amount of people that come out and watch and how loud everything is. It's very different, much more fast-paced, and I love every bit of it.
Well, I know you have one of the best support groups in the NWAC. I've seen some games at your gym. You have a great support group. And I got to tell you, Riley, I saw your dad give a speech the other night at a banquet in Clarkston, and he did a fantastic job.
Well, thank you.
I want to thank you girls for coming up and taking some time out of your preparation, and best wishes tonight.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Riley Denton and Ashley Peralta from the Wenatchee Valley Knights. Have a good game tonight, girls. It's halftime here, and it's Lane 45. It's Lower Columbia 26, and we're back to Everett right after this. Back at halftime, Lane 45, Lower Columbia 26. Mike Tatko here from Everett, along with Alex Bowen and Ashlyn Sharp from Peninsula. Congratulations on a big win last night over Highline, 53-40. I got to ask you, it was 23-9 at half. Have you ever held anybody to 9?
No.
I don't think so.
I mean, you know, you talk about high school, and sometimes it's a real big mismatch, and maybe in high school, maybe somebody just isn't as competitive as the other team. But we were talking here last night. We could not find anywhere in the books where anyone had scored 9. So what was the key to the defense last night?
We're just really aggressive, and we have very good ball move, like off-ball movement on defense, and we just have good communication.
Ashlyn, this is a team that apparently has peaked at the right time. Some struggles early on, but I believe you're on a 10 or 11 game winning streak. You ran the table at the end to win the North Region, and then you come in here. What's been the key to turning things around and getting on this big run?
I think the biggest thing was just for us to all buy into it. Like our coaches were always telling us, they always believed in us and everything that we could do. But I just think it really took all of us to come together and just believe in it and believe in the process and just trust everything to happen. And then it just happened, and we all knew what our potential was, and that's just how we've been going about all these past games. And
Let's talk.
It's been working.
Yeah, it has been, obviously, because here you are. You have a tremendous record, and you are going to win your 19th game last night, so going for win 20 tonight. Talk about the opponent tonight, Alex. Wenatchee Valley, also another good defensive team. They pride themselves on defense. They held really Clackamas, which really is a pretty good offensive team, to just 46. So what's going to be the key for you to crack that tough defense of Wenatchee Valley?
We're just going to make sure we attack the basket and not take shots too early in the shot clock. We're going to swing the ball and make sure we have a good open look for our offense.
Final word for you tonight, Ashlyn. What's it like? You're carrying the banner for the North. Nobody else is left in the North region. That's got to make you feel pretty good. You are it as far as the North region.
Yeah, I just think we got to represent. Everybody's not really worried about the North side, and they're always so worried about the East, so we're just going to play our game and leave it all out there.
All right. Well, ladies, thanks for coming up during your preparation. We wish you the best tonight against Wenatchee Valley.
Thank you.
All right. Alex Bowen and Ashlyn Sharp from Peninsula, the Pirates. And we'll be back to Everett right after this timeout.
With the ball. You see, a ball is not just leather and rubber. A ball is the seed that communities grow around. We're talking split-second moments that become indelible memories. It creates lifelong friendships. It's a reason for people to celebrate. A ball isn't just a ball. It's a life lesson. It's a tool you use to pursue your best. It's how you earn your greatest victories. How you learn to deal with failure. It's a test that you pass. It's a dream that you catch. It's a future you hold in your hands. It's not just a ball. Biden, the official ball of you.
WWCC is affordable. Find your way. Attend part-time. Direct transfer. Join the fun at WWCC.
We see you. Be your curious self at Clark College.
When I first graduated high school, all I wanted to do was go to a four-year because if you went to a community college, it was, like you said, not very competitive. But now being at a community college for 2 years, that makes you grow up as a player way more than you would think just going straight to a four-year. You have a lot of the community members that come out to your games that you know of, and so here I think is where kids really develop their skills and then they can go on to a four-year. My name is Devney. I play basketball at Centralia College and I go boldly.
It begins with the ball. You see, a ball is not just leather and rubber. A ball is the seed that communities grow around. We're talking split-second moments that become indelible memories. It creates lifelong friendships. It's a reason for people to celebrate. A ball isn't just a ball. It's a life lesson. It's a tool you use to pursue your best. It's how you earn your greatest victories. How you learn to deal with failure. It's a test that you pass. It's a dream that you catch. It's a future you hold in your hands. It's not just a ball. Baden, the official ball of you.
I chose EBCC.
We chose EBCC.
I chose EBCC. Sign up for a tour and find out why.
LCC has definitely prepared me to transfer to organization.
Welcome back to Everett, Washington. Everett Community College, Walt Price Fitness Center, Larry Walker Court. Second half of our basketball game between Lane and Lower Columbia. Lane with a lead of 45-26, and we can look at the scoring in the basketball game for both teams. First for Lower Columbia, led by the 8 points of Shasta Lofgren, 4 for Emily Packham, Madeline Jacobson with 4, Nishoni Wheeler with 4. Also in the game, Jerry Maluyo with 3, Kenya Lorton with 2, Madison Mosier with 1. For Lane, Emma Jones 12, Megan Fossen 12, Megan Briggs 8, Maya India Thomas 6, Kalina Rojas 4, Kylie Gilsdorf 3. So back to live action and a violation right off the bat. I don't know that the shot clock started, so they'll run it down to 25, and we'll be set to go here. Long road back for the Red Devils, but we play 40 minutes for a reason. And Lane tried to get back to the Final Four after a 2-year absence. And Wheeler with the steal inside, and the Red Devils will go from right to left as Wes Tucker and I, Mike Tatko, watch it from high above the court behind the benches.
Boy, and like you said, a long road for LCC to follow, but again, no strangers to being the underdog. We're playing from behind most of the game against Skagit until they erupted in the fourth quarter.
Long three, not good that time by Still, and it comes down to Maluyo. And the pass is too far for Wheeler. It's over her head and picked off by one of the Titans, and down it goes to Fossen in the corner. And they reset. Turnaround jump shot and the key rolls off that time by Briggs. She's a good jump shooter. That one wouldn't go. We've played 1:05, nothing going on yet. Maluya, no good. And I thought it was going to be knocked out of bounds, but still, or rather Briggs retrieved it. That's still Megan. 3 Megans on the court for the Titans. That's Fossen. Good. Megan Fossen has 4 3-point goals, 15 points. And it is a 22-point lead for the Titans.
You can just say Megan's got the ball, and if Lane has it, there's a 60% chance you're correct, Mike.
Nashoni Wheeler with a good inside move, couldn't finish, wanted a foul, didn't get it. And another 3 by another Megan. That one missed, and it'll go out of bounds. And Wheeler has dashed out of the game. I'm not sure if she got contacted down there or what, but they do have a substitute into the game for the Red Devils, and that is Madeline Jacobson. Red Devils with the basketball. Packham inside. Jacobson trying to spin, instead kicks it out. Lorton for 3. Rimmed. Good job by Lofgren to force it back up. That wouldn't go. Wow, Shasta did everything she needed to do, except she could just not get it to go. Great job, though. And Lofgren with a steal. And back comes Lower Columbia, but yet it goes back the other way to Lane after a turnover.
It looked like she was trying to just huck that thing down court, but ended up rolling off her fingertips.
Megan still adds a basket, and it's 51-26. And a foul is going to be on, I think, Briggs, and that's going to be her third. Lane has a host of players with 2, and now Briggs with 3. Lorton with 3, and a couple others with 2 for LCC. On the inbounds pass, they tried to go underneath, they couldn't do it. It's intercepted, and here come the Titans from left to right. Running it down the court. Emma Jones to Maya India Thomas. And getting fouled and scoring the basket is Rojas. Rojas has 4. Jacobson is the foul. And the field goal is good. And now Rojas for the free throw. And it is good. And it is 54-26. Melanata Kata is going to come into the next whistle for Lower Columbia. Lofgren trying to trying to get contact and get fouled and couldn't get it to go. And at the other end, ball knocked out of bounds by Jacobson. Kata and Mosier back into the game. Fossen 15 points, Jones 12, Briggs 8, Rojas 7, India Thomas 6. That's balance for Lane, and nobody in double figures for Lower Columbia. 3 on the way, still good. Megan Still, 2 3-pointers. She was held quiet in the first period. She has 6 here, and it's a 31-point lead for the Lane Titans.
Boy, and LCC cannot afford to let this get even more out of hand as they get another turnover.
Laying it up and rolling it home is Emma Jones. Everything going right for the Titans.
And vice versa for the Devils.
Yeah, everything going wrong there. They can't get a bucket. They can't get a stop. And Lorton couldn't get it to go. Back the other way for Lane. Still couldn't get that one off. And Lorton committed a foul. I think that was pretty obvious. It almost looked like she was intending to go hack the lane player, and she did, and that's her fourth. And she'll have to leave the game. And coming back in for Lower Columbia is Jerry Maluyo. 59-26 lane.
Also in foul trouble for the Devils is Packard at this point with 4 of them.
India Thomas, too hard. Rebound comes down to Packham. 5.5 to go. Third period. Kata with the move off the glass, but a little bit too hard. And the Titans almost knocked it out of bounds, but they're able to save it. 14 points in just 5 minutes here in the period for the Titans, and Lower Columbia has not scored. And another basket for Lane. Emma Jones has 16, and it's 61-26. And in this quarter, it is a 16-0 run for the Lane Titans. And a foul on Gilsdorf. And there'll be 2 shots coming after we break away. It's all Lane from Everett.
It begins with the ball. You see, a ball is not just leather and rubber. A ball is the seed that communities grow around. We're talking split-second moments that become indelible memories. It creates lifelong friendships. It's a reason for people to celebrate. A ball isn't just a ball. It's a life lesson. It's a tool you use to pursue your best. It's how you earn your greatest victories. How you learn to deal with failure. It's a test that you pass. It's a dream that you catch. It's a future you hold in your hands. It's not just a ball. Baden, the official ball of you.
Well, if you're a fan of Tacoma Community College, you feel safe that you're the last West team to get to the Final Four, and that was back in 2003. No West team has been there since, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen this year as the 3 teams from the West in the Elite 8 all going down today. Clark, the last team from the West to win it all in 1993. It's really been East and South with a spattering of the North over the years. As there's free throw is good by Maluyo. She has 4 points in the game. And make it 5.
So LCC collecting their first points of the half at this point.
Yeah, the 4:43 mark, the 2 free throws. They still don't have a field goal. And Lane on a big run, and there's a foul, and going to the line will be Rojas. 16-0 run to begin the half. And the foul was on Kata. That's her 3rd. Free throw was up and good.
And Gelsdorf, a fantastic shooter from the free throw line. Evident there, 1 of 2 already.
Second one is good again. I think that was Gelsdorf. I put it on Rojas, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, we'll fix that. Gelsdorf has 5 points as she's the one who hit those 2 free throws. Rojas has 5. Rojas actually has 7 points in the game. Driving to the basket, having it knocked out of bounds is Emma Jones. Good defense that time by Madeline Jacobson. 63-28 Titans. And 4 minutes and 1 second remain. Emma Jones drives, good body control, and she lays it up and in. She had 21 last night and 18 tonight. 65-28. Packham. And the pass inside by Maluyo is a little bit too far. And a foul, I think, maybe on Lane, on Rojas. That's her second. Third team foul. Red Devil basketball underneath the basket. And the shot goes up and in. And at the other end, it's the Titans scoring. And Gilsdorf with the basket for Lane, and it's 67-30. And Packham trying to get something going on that one, could not. That last basket for Lower Columbia was Maluyo, who now has 7 in the game. Shot up no good, but right there for the rebound, and the putback is Rojas. Every possession the Titans are having their way, either on their set offense or on a putback, it would appear. 69-30.
Boy, a 39-point separation between these two teams.
Another steal. Fossen. Ahead it goes to Gilsdorf. And to the left side to Still. And across as they just work it around this man-to-man defense by Lower Columbia. Spin move, turnaround jumper off the glass, that time a little bit too hard by Gilsdorf, and Jacobson with the rebound. Lane will come back Friday for a 3 o'clock game against either Wenatchee Valley or Peninsula.
Get to decide that next.
Yes, Kata with the putback, her first 2. And in the first game at 1 o'clock next Saturday, it'll be Big Bend against Umpqua. Teams who were in the Final Four last year. Shot goes up, it was blocked. Rebounded by Gilsdorf, kicks it out. And firing it is Still, that's not good. And it's still loose, and diving on it. And a big scrum in there. Good hustle that time by Maluyo. And it's going to be LCC basketball, so she is rewarded, is Jerry, with a good job.
And speaking of the Final Four on Saturday, the men's game all set to North Idaho taking on Lane at 5 p.m. in Spokane. Going to be taking on Walla Walla at 7.
Good showing by the East in the men's side. 3 of the 4 teams advance, and North Idaho, the defending champions. They will try to repeat. They won it in overtime last year in the championship game on this court. Final minute and a half of the third period here in quarterfinal number 3. Lane will punch the third ticket to the Final Four. Shot up and not good. Poked out of bounds. It'll be Lane basketball. We've had a 27-point game today. We've had an 18-point game today. And this is 37.
Well, you know, there's always the outliers that make the mean average a little messed up, so it's got to happen at some point to get one of these onslaughts.
I think a lot of people saw it coming. There's a shot up and good by Toby. That's her first.
Lead back out to 39.
71-32 with 50 seconds to go. Spin move by Lofgren, and she's going to go to the line as Shasta Lofgren gets fouled. And the foul is on Toby. Well, we have one more chance for a competitive game. It's coming up at 7 o'clock. It'll be the Peninsula Pirates, the top seed from the north, against the second seed from the east, the Wenatchee Valley Knights. Free throw good by Lofgren. She's had a good night at the free throw line. She's 4 for 5. 71-33. And good again. Final 45 seconds of this period. Lower Columbia, man-to-man. Emma Jones gets bumped, goes by her defender, and lays it up and in. 73-34, 30 seconds to go. 1 second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Driving is Mosier. Kicks it out to Lofgren. 17 seconds. Inside they work it. Shot up blocked. Out of bounds. A shot attempted by Michaela Hopkins. And there's a steal for Lane, and still had it knocked out of bounds. Greg Sheely is wondering where the foul is, and I kind of agree with him. You don't stop coaching just because you're up 40.
No,
if you feel your player gets hacked, she gets hacked. And good for Coach Sheely to continue to question the officials and stick up for his girls. And there's another one out front, and they finally get that one, but Maluyo is very quickly to apologize. If that was the Maluyo, it was. It's her first. She went right up to the Lane player and said, I'm sorry, I contacted you out there, and it's a foul, but not a shooting foul. 6 seconds remain in the quarter.
I doubt those were exact words, but I get the sentiment.
And Jones driving, laying it up. That one would not roll in. That's one of the few ones she's missed. Lofgren from 3/4 court. It's a little bit offline, and that's the end of the third quarter. And our score is Lane 73, Lower Columbia 34.
Life is about moments. If you fight, I fight. If I fight, we fight.
You be there and watch what I do when the bell rings.
Do you have that real look in your eye that when you look at yourself in the mirror, you can ask yourself this question: did I give everything I got? Did I lay it all on the line? Or am I cheating myself?
What you say, Quade? See ya! Right at it, right at it. Oh! He's done it again!
So whatever you're gonna do, claim it. Leave your mark on this world.
Fourth and final quarter here in this quarterfinal action. Shasta Lofgren has 10 points to lead the Red Devils. Their first player in double figures, and 2 Lane Titans are in doubles, and a lot more are close. As driving in and having the shot blocked that time by Nashani Wheeler was Emma Jones. Back the other way. Packham going to go up and lay it up too hard, and the rebound is loose, and it's going to come down to the Titans. It's Fossen who will run it up. And they go right side now to India Thomas.
Well, India Thomas has been one of the sort of silent contributors so far for the Lane Titans. Hasn't been as loud as a lot of her teammates.
Well, a couple of 3-point goals, 2 3-point goals early in the game when they were kind of setting the tone, and that was the main contribution for her as far as the scoring column goes, but she's done a lot of other good things. She has 3 rebounds and 3 assists, and so India Thomas has done a good job, and there's a jump shot by Packham on the right side, and it is 6 for Packham. And coming up and laying it up with the left hand and rolling it home is Kylie Gilsdorf.
And I got a treat for you, Mike. So we're joined in the radio booth now by Marco Acerdia. Marco.
Scoot on up to the big table here. The executive director of the Northwest Athletic Conference, Marco Acerdia, who's had a busy, I won't just say Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because I think you rolled into town on Tuesday.
We rolled in Tuesday, late Tuesday afternoon.
Well, it's been a long week, but a lot of basketball. And how would you say, first thing I'll ask you is about the crowds, or the crowds about what you expected, and of course we have another weekend to go, of course.
Absolutely, and you know it's tough. Community college doesn't have necessarily the following that you get from high schools or the 4 years, but the family and friends are here, and we're always excited to put on a good show for them.
Well, a beautiful facility here, and we like being high above it where we can see everything. So thank you for having us here with you. And boy, everything seems to be running smoothly. They haven't kicked us out of here yet. So
yeah, you know, we've done it for so many years. It kind of takes care of itself, and I got a good crew with Allie and Tracy and Spencer. So, and Everett here has been great. Their staff here has just been a number one.
Lane continues to lead in this one, 75-36. The final 8 minutes of this tournament game, and the Lane at the other end, and that's Maluyo with another basket. So a good showing by her, 75-38. Now, talk about the next week. We have Saturday and Sunday basketball, but I'm interested in the All-Star competition. Tell us, those are sophomore kids who will be playing their final year, and they're, I'm assuming, selected by their own coaches or their leagues?
Yeah, so each region selects their all-region team, and then the sophomores who make that team, they are the sophomore all-stars, and they play in the game on Sunday morning. And it's combined. I don't know exactly which regions are with each other, but it could be the north and south versus east and west, and vice versa. So, yeah, it gives them an opportunity to play one more game, maybe to get one more look from a four-year school.
I remember being last year, and I remember sitting at that table across the way and getting out my book, and I was going to try to score that men's game, and after a while, it was just up and down and up and down. I looked up, and we were barely through the first half, and it was 35-30. And I was like, yeah, I'm just going to watch because this is fun. It's a showcase for the kids, and they really do put on a show on both the men's and women's games.
Yeah, and we're trying to, I think, Mike, take a look at that and maybe make it a little more structured so the kids understand this is an opportunity for you to get one more look and, you know, to running up and down the floor. It's kind of like the NBA All-Star Game. You know how everybody follows everybody else. It kind of becomes more of a spectacle than an opportunity for kids to get seen, and so we're really trying to reorganize and restructure that.
I think a lot of people don't understand or maybe don't realize or think about that when this ends next weekend, next Sunday right here at the Walt Price Fitness Center, and you award the basketball trophies to two teams, spring sports are already underway, and I want to ask you, throughout the Northwest, it's been a little bit of a damp spring so far. How are things going with spring sports? Are we losing some games and trying to get them all made up? And what's the status of the spring sports that we participate in?
Well, it really affected basketball to start with, and a lot of games got pushed back. A lot of games got rescheduled multiple times. And yes, in terms of spring sports, we had to cancel a softball tournament that we have every year in the Tri-Cities because it's just still filled with snow and it's not thawing. And what's interesting is a lot of the West Side teams traditionally go over to the Tri-Cities and Yakima to play baseball and softball. Well, this year they've had to come over here to the West Side to play, which is really, it doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen for us.
Saw some baseball teams in the crowd over the weekend supporting their teams because they were in this area. It's kind of nice when you can get a baseball team from Big Bend or Walla Walla, or whoever it is, Edmonds, Everett, coming into here to watch some basketball.
Yeah, that was fun to have them, and they were loud and rowdy, and that's what you want, and they were very supportive of their teams, and you know, I think it always helps when you have your fans with you, and it helps bring the teams together to bond, to support each other.
We're visiting with Marco Azurdia, the executive director of the NWAC, the Northwest Athletic Conference. Well, last year I think was year 3 here, and then here we are in year 4. I believe it's a new deal. Can you talk at all about the future of the tournament and the selection of the location?
Yeah, we're here another 3 years. Everett, you know, they just do a great job, and Tammy Dunn with the Sonoma Sports Commission, they've really stepped up and they've wanted us here, and it's always important to feel wanted. And so we're looking forward to another 3 years. I know there are a couple other cities that are interested. We've had some preliminary talks, and so we'll take a look at that. But it's worked out here. I had a longtime NWAC person come the other night to the game, and he said, my goodness, he said, this facility is probably the perfect fit for you in terms of our style and size and so forth.
I would imagine that once we get to next weekend and down to 4 teams on either side plus some all-star activity, there probably maybe are some people who maybe didn't come this week because they weren't sure if their team was going to advance, and some people certainly will come back, especially parents. But usually the second weekend, I would imagine there's a little bit of an influx of crowd.
I think so. You know, it's interesting when we went away from the double elimination, so we were a true championship single elimination tournament. it's a long way to travel for some people, and it's maybe not as cost effective for them if it's going to be one and done. But we hope next week. It looks like obviously Lane men and women will be there, so that hopefully would bring a good crowd of Lane fans that want to support both programs, not just one.
Well, we're visiting with Marco Azurdia, and you were on the broadcast just for a second. They put us up there so everyone could see us, and they know that we were really here doing this. And Wes and I asked if we could do the game from the Jimmy John's deal, but maybe next year we're going to look into that. That would be a great location, especially to call the 10 o'clock in the night game, I think. Although if it's not a close game, you could probably see us laying back in those chairs and maybe dozing off a bit.
That couch looks pretty comfortable. He's got the recliner up, or I can't tell if he's got the recliner, but it does recline. And so, those are pretty choice seats there.
I want to ask you a little bit. Did you have something, Wes? I'm hogging the conversation. Go ahead.
No worries at all. I appreciate the break every now and then, but got a chance to sit in that seat, a little pregame. I had a conversation with Marco from the seat, and when I asked to do the game from down there, he looked at me like I had lobsters crawling out of my ears. So I'm pretty sure it's a hard no this year.
Well, you just wanted the Jimmy John's.
Oh, that
was the difference.
Oh, man.
Lane with the comfortable 81-39 lead over Lower Columbia. Final 5 minutes. Before we get to a media timeout, I want to ask you real quick. You're like the single elimination, one and done thing, just the format in general. Any things, talks about modification or anything about that?
Yeah, we like the format. I think it's a true championship tournament when it's one and done. Okay, we're in college, and that's the reality of it. Nobody really wants to play an 8 o'clock game for 8th place, and I don't think that's being financially feasible for schools, for us, and the cost what it takes to run a tournament. So I think, yes, for single elim, it's good. In terms of changes, there has been discussion about using the RPI to maybe help seed the tournament. We sent out a survey, Mike, I think middle of February, and so we're waiting to get those responses back on our championship tournaments. What can we do better? What do you want to see? And I think for us, you got to evolve. You got to evolve as a conference, and the way things were done 25, 30 years ago were probably great then, but things have changed. Technology has changed things. Budgets are getting tighter and tighter, and so we've got to be fiscally responsible, yet at the same time try to provide the best type of tournament we can for our kids.
Yeah, we're going to keep it here if we can, Todd. And Rush, you had a question for Marco before we go to break.
We're talking about evolution of the NWAC tournaments. Do you see other sports that have been double elimination, such as softball, maybe volleyball, going to this single elimination format as well in the future?
That's a good question. I think my first thought would be that they would not like that. I think softball is one of those tournaments that maybe lends itself to a double elim, work your way through, because they can play on the same day. At this level, you can't play 2 games and the same day. Injuries would just take off. Same thing, I think, in volleyball. That's part of that whole culture in volleyball. What has been talked about, and just real generally, is it time to look at maybe 12 teams in a tournament? So we'll see. These are tough games today, and you see the discrepancy in score and discrepancy in talent. So, we'll see. And we always want to have the discussions. We don't want to be complacent, and I think it's good that we continue to look to see how we can make things better. If it's not broken, then we don't need to fix it. But on the other hand, we always need to make it better.
All right, Marco Azurdia, you're welcome to hang out with us up here. But we are going to go to a quick break, I believe. So thank you for your time.
Thank you,
and thanks for having us.
All right, we appreciate having you guys. You guys do a great job for us.
All right, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Well, back to the basketball game here as again we thank the executive director of the NWAC, Marco Azurdia. Here's the Titans running out the clock, basically. Final 4 minutes. 86-41 is our score, and that's the thing I like about the split screen and about television, Wes, is that even though we were talking about everything other than this game under the sun, people could still watch, and you could still see the score. And so you weren't getting the commentary on this specific game, but you were getting some really good, I think, frank commentary about the conference that we are all in and moving forward, on the potential to move forward on certain things regarding location and events and different sports, and I know that you are very involved in a lot of different sports, Wes, where I'm just a basketball guy, and so good questions that we brought up, and thanks to Marco for coming.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, as an athlete, I fell in love with this conference, and even after I'm done and gone, my time in the NWAC, I still come back. I mean, this is just a fantastic conference to be a part of, to play in, and even to work in as a contractor like I do now.
That was Smith, or rather Emma Jones, who couldn't get it to go. It was 73-34 at the quarter. It's now 89-41, so it's been all Lane. 3:18 to go, and it might be time. I guess we'll see how it happens. It might be time to start going through the book to see when the last time somebody scored over 100. It won't take long because that's a high number. That's pretty easy to spot in a program. And Columbia Basin beat Highline 104-65 in 2015. So I didn't have to go very far.
No, not far at all.
To go back to see, unless I don't have last year's. I need to pull up last year's bracket real quick and make sure there wasn't one in the women's side. Umpqua beat Bellevue 103-70 last year, and Everett beat Clackamas 102-77 last year. So it was last year, and it was twice. We didn't have to go back very far at all to see if somebody got to 100, and Lane is 9 points away right now. We've looked up a lot of things this weekend that took us a lot longer than that, I'll tell you that.
Oh, absolutely.
We were looking up, remember when the Highline had 9 points last night at half, we were looking up the lowest score in an NWAC game, and we came up with 31 for Tacoma. Timeout, and we'll take it now with 2.5
moments. If you fight, I fight. If I fight, we fight.
You be there and watch what I do when the bell rings.
Do you have that real look in your eye that when you look at yourself in the mirror, you can ask yourself this question: did I give everything I got? Did I lay it all on the line? Or am I cheating myself?
What you say, Quaid? See ya! Right at it. Oh! He's done it again!
So whatever you're gonna do, claim it. Leave your mark on this world.
(91-44) Lane Titans looking to get their 28th win. They missed the Final Four the last 2 seasons. They're looking to get back. Prior to that, they had a 4-year run. Lower Columbia, 21 wins for their first-year coach, Lucas Myers. And boy, anytime you can get to 20, regardless of how it ends, you get to 20, that's a good year.
I mean, that's just a fantastic year in general, like you just highlighted. But to get this far in the tournament your first year, that's a real testament to what he's going to have this team doing in 3 or 4 when he establishes a true culture out there.
Certainly does. He has stepped in for Chad Metters, who went to Northwest Christian, and saw Chad yesterday as a coach in this tournament. Now he's a coach recruiting kids to come to his institution next year.
I mean, and he obviously knows the caliber of talent the NWAC produces, so smart man to come back.
Yeah, he knows what it takes to win at this level. Chad Metters, a very successful coach over the years at Lower Columbia. Lane is running out the clock here now, 1:43 to go. The Titans will play at 3 o'clock next Saturday. For those of you interested in Lane, whether or not you're coming to Everett or whether you're going to watch, it'll be 3 o'clock. Scoop shot up and no good, and a foul. And foul shots coming for Kelly O'Malley. We'll give you totals here as we wrap this up before we get off the air so we can make sure and get everyone's name in who played and scored. O'Malley hits the free throw. Emma Jones led the way with 20. Megan Still 16. Megan Fossen 15. Kylie Gilsdorf 11. Megan Briggs 10. So 5 in doubles for Lane. Kalina Rojas 9. Maya India Thomas 6. Amanda Toby chipped in with 2. Maddie Carrier scored a basket. and Kelly O'Malley with 2. So a whole host of Lane Titans scoring in this one. Jerry Maluyo had 12 for the Red Devils, 10 for Shasta Lofgren, 6 for Emily Packham. Nishoni Wheeler with 6, Madeline Jacobson 5, Kenya Lorton 2. Kata had 2. Madison Mosier with 1, and Cheyenne Wheeler and Michaela Hopkins also in the game. So everybody got everybody in. And that's always nice in a tournament game. The Titans are going to run out the clock here, not interested in getting to the century mark, as the 3 on the way by Emma Jones is off the back iron. 40 seconds to go. 93-44 Lane. And they will be back here on Saturday against either Peninsula or Wenatchee Valley. That one is coming up at 7 o'clock to close out our Elite 8 action.
Boy, it's kind of hard to believe how fast this weekend's flown by, and we're already down to 4 teams in each bracket. Or at least we will be by about 9 o'clock tonight.
Right. 30 seconds left. There's just a fraction of a second between shot clock, game clock. I don't think Lane will have to shoot. And they'll back it out, and I don't think Lower Columbia is going to come out and bug anybody about it. 93-44. The Lane Titans are going to advance. It's going to be their 28th win of the season, and Lower Columbia will finish 21-10. And they shot it, and it hit the iron, and they did that on purpose so the shot clock wouldn't expire. Lane wins at 93-44. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Titans in double figures, and 5 other Titans score in the basketball game, and just too much Lane.
And too much Lane, and Lower Columbia looked outmatched. Looked like at the beginning of the game we were going to be going back and forth, but around the three-quarter way point through the first quarter of the contest, Lower Columbia just looked like they were outmatched and outplayed the entire contest after that.
25-11 was the score at the end of the first quarter. They extended it to 45-26 at half, 73-34 after 3, and Lane wins it 93-44. That'll wrap up our coverage. We want to thank Todd Elvig. We want to thank the guys in the truck for all their work outside. They do a good job outside in the truck as Lane wins at 93-44. So long, everybody.